Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So nice to see all of you. Tonight, once again, we have for our pre-service music performer, our own house flutist, Bonnie McAlvin. Bonnie has toured internationally, performing both her own music and traditional repertoire, and she was the winner of the National Flute Association's flute competition in 2009. And her compositions have drawn international attention for the special technique of multiphonics. Bonnie, are we going to hear any multiphonics this evening?
Um, no multiphonics unless they're an accidental multiphonic.
Well, then let's hope not to hear multiphonics this evening. Um, but without further ado, let's hear Bonnie.
Okay, so it's Social Action Shabbat, so I thought I would play music by my colleague Alice Jones. Alice is a woman composer. She's also a person of color. And so, the topic in classical music, the conversation has centered a lot about how it's a self-perpetuating cycle if you don't play these composers. So this is a piece by Alice. I'm going to put the titles of the movements in the chat box.
Great.
After Alice's piece, then I'm just going to play some flamenco music, which is just for fun.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, okay, I'm back. Okay.
That was absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Bonnie. Um, such a beautiful and delightful and joyful way to come into Shabbat. Thank you so much. So we are going to transition not just to Shabbat, but also thinking about Passover, which is tomorrow. And I thought I would share a melody that I shared with some folks on Zoom into Passover for Dayenu, right? So that's the great, very, very long song, but normally we don't sing all the verses on that. Thanking God for all the wonderful things that have happened, starting with the Exodus from Egypt, but all different kinds of things. And you can even sort of make up your own Dayenu. But this particular Dayenu comes from Sarajevo. That is the melody does, although, of course, the text is from the Haggadah and quite old. So I'll sing the melody with you a couple of times, and then maybe we'll try to sing it together. Ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai lai ya lai 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 ya lai 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. So the first words, which are actually not written here, Kama ma'alot tovot lamakom aleinu. How many wonderful things has God done for us? Kama ma'alot tovot lamakom aleinu. Ilu hotzianu mimitzrayim velo asavahem shefatim dayenu. Ilu asavahem shefatim velo asav Eloheim dayenu. Ilu asav Eloheim velo harag et bechoreihem dayenu. Ilu harag et bechoreihem velo natan lanu et mamonam dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et mamonam velo kara lanu et hayam dayenu. So how many wonderful things there are to be thankful for, and even one of them would have been enough.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's great to have you all here together, joining our community from wherever we might be tonight, but together we're all together as the Reform Temple of Forest Hills online. This is quite the weekend. If you are so inclined, there is something you can do specifically very Jewish at tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, through temple or with your family and friends. So it's great to have everyone here tonight as we begin a big Jewish weekend all together in all our different places, all working towards freedom and hope that may just be a little bit on the horizon for us. Part of the way we recognize hope is through our acts of social justice. Each time we make a difference in the world, make the world just a little bit better, we bring more hope into the world and more promise. And so tonight is our Social Action Shabbat. As members of our social action team, we'll reflect on our recent wonderful mitzvah day and on social action in general. We begin with these words. It's not enough to have lived. We should be determined to live for something. May I suggest that it be creating joy for others, sharing what we have for the betterment of personkind, bringing hope to the lost and love to the lonely. Leo Buscaglia. We begin our services by adding light into the world. And we invite Shelley Radbell, who's one of the co-chairs of our, Shelley, you need to unmute yourself. One of our co-chairs of our Passover Seder on Sunday night, which normally Lois and Judy would maybe get a little anxious if I said you could sign up right now. But this year, go ahead, sign up yourself, your friends, your neighbors, go on to it. You can just go to rtfh.org and sign up for our Passover Seder on Sunday night. The more, the merrier. Shelley will lead us in our Shabbat candles this evening.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahad l'pner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Shelley. Now we turn to our Kiddush as we all join in offering this prayer for joy.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemase v'reishit ki hu yom tefila l'mikra'ei kodesh Zeicher litiat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat lechaim.
L'chaim. Our first speaker tonight will be Marcia Parnes.
It was an incredible joy to see this year's virtual Mitzvah Day come to life. And on this Social Action Shabbat, we're delighted to share some reflections on this impactful and inspiring day. Since I was responsible for writing the 12-page MD21 packet, chock full of instructions and descriptions, as well as the email communication, I was acutely aware of how involved transforming MD21 from in-person to virtual was. In doing so, I had the privilege of collaborating with Jerry and Lois, whose extraordinary vision and leadership ensured that the day would be brimming with learning and doing Gemilut Chasadim, acts of loving kindness. It was also terrific to work with so many dedicated people on the social action team, which I had only recently joined, not to mention with Rabbi, Cantor, Alan, Faye, our webmaster, Sue Gardner, and our new administrator, Cheryl Hausman. Together, we planned, invited, formatted, instructed, presented, facilitated, packed, received, picked up, and delivered. And we joined with our whole temple family, from kindergartners to seniors, to fulfill our mission of Tikkun Olam, to repair the world. What a wonderful feeling. I hope you feel as I do, blessed to have the capacity to do mitzvot and a temple community that inspires and facilitates it. I'd also like to share some thoughts from some of our guest speakers about their experience participating in the day. From Tony Seinfeld of Eagles Up. I enjoyed speaking with the children. They are adorable. I'm looking forward to shipping the cards from the children to the military personnel. I admired all the wonderful work you do for all. From Central Queens community activists, Cecilia Lim and Deva Eston, who led the 7th grade's How to Be an Ally workshop. We're so glad we were able to join and learn with some of the young people and also the adult educators of RTFH. We're appreciative of the chance to both work with each other and continue to develop our relationship. So life-affirming on so many levels. From Peggy Kurtz, who spoke about the climate crisis to the adults and teens. I hope the talk will lead people to want to think about how you can tackle this issue, what you can do through the synagogue and at home. Climate change is a great task of our generation. It's our responsibility, and we have very little time to turn things around. Start anywhere. From the Borough President's Deputy Chief of Staff, Brent Weitzberg, who spoke about food insecurity here in Queens. It was my pleasure and a true privilege to participate in the Mitzvah Day celebration. And finally, from Mark Eisman, who spoke to the 7th grade about saving our planet from climate change. It sounds cliche, but I feel if I got through to even one kid, I feel I made a difference that day. Thank you.
Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai Shir Hadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
We take a minute to welcome each other, to greet each other, to see old friends, to talk with new ones. So we're going to break into breakout rooms for a few minutes. Please don't just hide in the breakout room. Say hello to somebody. That's all you have to say. Shabbat Shalom, happy Passover. That'd be a lovely thing to do.
Oh my
I'll never
God,
understand why some people go immediately and some people it takes forever for them to go.
if their internet isn't great, maybe it's that.
Oh,
I have that problem sometimes with students who don't have very good internet. Nope.
see, it worked.
I know it worked. It wasn't there last time. I've been like a nervous wreck about it.
Maybe it was put in an update.
Maybe. Well, I've had it before and then I suddenly didn't have it again. And now suddenly I have it. And the rooms are going to automatically close after 2 minutes.
Okay.
Ooh, look, I did it. Oh my God.
Now we're going to have complaints. It was too fast. They're always complaining. It takes too long. Now whatever you do, we're always wrong, no matter what we choose.
at least as long as you know that, then it's fine.
Yeah.
You can just blame me. Send them to me.
Better too short than too long.
Yes. But look, nobody came back early.
Yeah, that's because the people who wanted to don't know how to do it.
Oh. Here they come.
Oh, gives them an extra 60 seconds. So it's 3 minutes.
Oh, see, now we're going to get that they're too long. I
Yeah.
thought that it was going to go 1 minute, then give them the 60-second and then get them out. That's what I thought was
No.
going to happen.
Apparently it's when you hit close, that's when it gives you the 60 seconds.
Oh, for gosh sakes. See, I fail again.
It was 2. So now we know either we got to cut the 60 seconds down on
Yeah.
the extra time, or we got to
Do
give them 1 minute.
Right. Ugh. I will keep doing it until I get it right.
That's nice.
Hello, Karen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Hello.
It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear you. You're doing great. Aziz and Pesach.
Aziz and Pesach to you too. All right, we're gonna move forward in the service, so we'll talk to you later.
Okay, go for it.
As you've hopefully met some people and said hello, now we're going to welcome our Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi.
Shabbat בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, איי איי איי, לך דודי, איי איי איי, לקראת כלה, איי איי איי, בני שבת נקבלה, איי איי איי, לך דודי, איי איי איי, לקראת כלה, איי איי איי, בני שבת נקבלה.
We rise in body or in spirit for our call to worship the Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Service is the rent we pay to be living. It is the very purpose of life and not something you do in your spare time. You just need to be a flea against injustice. Enough committed fleas biting strategically can make even the biggest dog uncomfortable and transform even the biggest nation. We must not, in trying to think about how we can make a big difference, ignore the small daily differences which we can make, which over time add up to big differences that we often cannot foresee. It's time for greatness, not greed. It's time for idealism, not ideology. It is a time not just for compassionate words, but compassionate action. A lot of people are waiting for Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi to come back, but they are gone. We are it. It is up to us. It is up to you. Marion Wright Edelman.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב הרבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבתו, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. הקהל אדוני אלוהינו, ושכבנו וקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Join from your own homes. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'kol levavcha v'kol nafshecha u'v'kol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlekteka vaderech, ushokbeka uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beinenecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzei tietchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. Together, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bar kodesh, nora tehilot, o seifele, malchutecha, rauvanecha, bokeyayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, zeili, zeili, alu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, u'gyalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gai Yisrael.
Song for Shabbat.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים Asa Adonai, et hashamayim v'et haaretz, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We continue with the Tefillah, our central prayers. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, Ufi yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Rabbi Moshe Leb, the tzaddik of Sasov, was known for his love of other people. One dark night when heavy snow was falling outside, he heard someone tap at the window of his room. Rabbi Moshe Leb looked through the window and saw a strange man, dressed in tatters, with lacerations on his hands and face, and with a gleam of madness in his eyes. The Rebbe hesitated for a moment whether to let such a man into his house, but then thought to himself, If there is room for a man like that in God's universe, surely there is room for him in my home. And he at once opened the door wide and invited the man in. Reaching out to fellow human beings, providing shelter for wanderers, loving your neighbor as yourself, hearing cries of hunger and pain, standing up against injustice, taking part in the healing of the world. This is what it means to be a Jew. This is what it means to love your eternal God, to keep the words that God commands you upon your heart. A prayer of peace.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech Adon, L'chol HaShalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon, L'chol HaShalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. V'tov Eilecha Livarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamivarech et amo Yisrael, Bashalom.
We continue with our own private prayers. We're delighted to hear from a number of the members of our social action team leadership. So we'll be bringing them up on the screen. Imagine this is sort of like the time it takes for people to walk from their chairs to the bima. So give it that moment.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Strauss. I head up the social action team with Lois. So Mitzvah Day is all about our temple community working together to help members of the broader community we live in. After canceling MD20, I thought, how can we go forward with this traditionally hands-on, in-person event in the age of COVID? I quickly found that our social action team, with the support of temple leadership and the broader RTFH community, was game. We decentralized hands-on activities so participants could do things at home, which we had previously done on site, preparing lunch for a food pantry, care packages for college kids in need, cards and gift bags for nursing home residents, kits for the Days for Girls organization, and cards for our overseas troops. We wrote detailed, clear instructions to describe each activity. We organized virtual meetings for incredible talks by our experts on climate, food insecurity, voting, and how to be an ally training. We pulled it off with enthusiasm, love, and determination. When there's a will, some open and innovative thinking, and true caring for others, anything is possible. And on a personal note, I was floored by our Toffee members, our teenage group, who taught us all about new voting practices and how to play an educational quiz game on the web. The way they presented to the congregation in partnership with Democracy NYC gives me great faith and confidence in our emerging leaders of tomorrow.
Thank you, Jerry. As Social Action Vice President of Toffee, I strongly believe Mitzvah Day was an immense success. Toffee got to collaborate with amazing people from Democracy NYC, and we got to teach people about the importance of voting. I know I learned a lot from the program, and I'm just very glad that we were able to teach other people in our congregation.
What I saw on Mitzvah Day, a wide variety of engaging programs for all ages, hands-on, educational, a call to action. The countless volunteer hours had paid off. Volunteers and attendees had a positive experience, making a positive impact on the communities we served. What a successful program of the Reformed Temple of Forest Hills community, working together on Tikkun Olam.
The Reformed Temple of Forest Hills gives me a chance to remove myself from my daily routine and take a few hours to see how I can make a difference to those who are less fortunate than myself. Taking advantage of my contacts, as well as being saturated by the news of the nursing home crisis caused by COVID, I reached out to our local nursing homes and asked if we can help. The gift bags made by children were appreciated and created an air of excitement to the nursing home, which brought these residents a few moments of joy and feelings of connection. And to be able to give relief to the Corona Seventh-day Adventist Church, who fed over 200 people on Mitzvah Day. Persons who are food insecure in Corona Queens helped me connect with lovely and well-organized folks from our temple as well as the church. To see so many people step up to the plate and work together to hash out the logistics and deliver what was needed was, in retrospect, great. Additionally, seeing the youth from our temple make gift bags for homeless and financially insecure college students shows me how much we are teaching the younger generation to care and to reach out to those less fortunate. The social action team worked very hard to produce something meaningful. The best of us was shown on March 14th. I am grateful to the leadership and the dedicated team members who made this happen, as well as the congregation.
Mitzvah Day, a long-standing tradition at RTFH with months of planning, tons of activities and speakers, community outreach, and so much more. Mitzvah Day 2021. What was the difference this year? Everything and nothing. We zoomed into temple as one congregation for a program that was carefully orchestrated in the best possible way. What did we do together? Activities, speakers, and community outreach. As Jerry Strauss so nicely put it, we decentralized our approach, and it worked. There was still joy on the faces of the people who were actively doing things. There were earnest questions asked at the climate change and food insecurity sessions. The camaraderie of the women working together on Days for Girls was as if we were sitting around a real table. We learned, we talked, we laughed, and even thought about other ways to continue to do mitzvot all during the year. What did we miss? We missed being part of Kathy's kitchen crew and preparing lunch for everyone. We'll look forward to that at Mitzvah Day 2022.
Thank you to all of our Mitzvah Day leaders and to the many, many people who made Mitzvah Day possible, not just the people you're seeing and hearing from tonight, but dozens of others who worked in many ways to make it happen. And as our social action team always reminds us, every day is Mitzvah Day. So don't wait till next year to do your next mitzvah. Thank you all very much. Shabbat Shalom. We turn now to some blessings for healing as we think of those who need our strength, need our hope, need our presence. If there's people you're specifically thinking of, please put them in the chat so we all can see who's on our minds, who's in our hearts. As a temple community, we're remembering our temple members and sending strength to them, to Elaine Wall, Helen Schloss, Rochelle Weinberg, Ronnie Heller, Jamie Stern, Joan Lipton, Arlene Green, Sadie Rosenkrantz, Elise Leibowitz, Roberta Traeger, Jody Ann Herman, and we're also thinking especially of right now, Ted Cannon, Helene Cannon, Ruth Scheidlauer. We add to these names that fill our chat and fill our hearts as we join together in a Misha Berach for healing.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Amen. As much as we come together to share our sadness and our need of strength, we come together to share our happiness and the joy in our lives. If there's something good that has happened to you or a member of your family in recent days or in days ahead, please share it in the chat so all of us can see the simchas and goodness going on in our lives and celebrate together from each other. When each of us are stronger, we all are stronger. So we've got mitzvot of all sign coming up, from a bat mitzvah to a tikkun olam mitzvah to a life cycle mitzvah. So lots of mitzvot in different forms, filling our mitzvah days every day. people getting to see each other for the first time in a long time and celebrate with each other. Celebrating birthdays for this month. Back to doing things in ways a little closer to the way we remember, like dance competitions. And of course, the wonderness of us continuing to get vaccines to as many of us as are eligible as quickly as we can. So we hope for lots of joy and happiness for each person, whatever form it's coming in, and may all of us be able to put simchas in together each and every week because our lives are full of great blessing. So we move now to the concluding blessings of our service. We begin with this blessing for social action by Judy Chicago, which we read responsively. And then all that has divided us will merge, and then compassion will be wedded to power, and then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind.
And then
both men and women will be gentle, and then both women and men will be strong, and then no person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied, and then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many.
And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance.
And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old.
And then all will nourish the young, and then all will cherish life's creatures. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again.
Amen. We think now of people we miss very much, people who are part of our hearts for all time, but we share now some names together that we remember particularly at this time. As we offer these names out loud, we invite you to add names into the chat of people you're particularly remembering in this moment in your heart. This week marks the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of Carol Bobrow, Sadie G. Bromberg, Herman Chavez, Israel Chorberg, Janet Cohen, Lee Cohn, Max Cohn, Clara Del Borgo, Jacob Edelberg, David Fadelson, Murray Feuerstein, Joseph First, Jack Gertner, Miriam Gottesfeld, Edwin Gazanski, Max Greenberger, Maurice Grossman, Marjorie T. Jacobs, Morris Kessler, Rose Kraft, Fred Leeds, Pauline Levine, Samuel Lefkowitz, Joseph Lieber, Lillian Lynn, Norman Nacht, Pearl Pincus, Willie Reinman, Fanny Rosen, Elias Sackler, Harry Shaw, Dora Solomon, Lena Sternberg, Samuel Teitler, Marvin Weiner, Theodore Weiss, Ernst Wiener, Sosa Zelikoff. We note in sadness the recent passing of Adam Shelton, cousin of Aaron Eisauer, and in the recent weeks, the passings of Dominic Albee, father of Frank Albee, Selma Pockler, grandmother of Josh Bogard, Kay Plotnick, aunt of Suzanne Rosenberg, and our member Hans Bob Alexander, husband of Lillian Alexander. We mourn the victims of the Colorado grocery store shooting this past Monday, but as we share these names, we know that every day in America, you can share names of people who died by gun violence. And so these are names that stand in for the thousands upon thousands of people who are murdered unnecessarily by guns in our country. We remember Trelona Bartkowick, Suzanne Fountain, Terry Leiker, Kevin Mahoney, Lynn Murray, Ricky Olds, Nevin Stanisic, Denny Strong, and Jody Waters. We add to those names that fill our chat. We add to those names of people we miss so very much. And together we join in our mourner's Kaddish And we invite you, if you wish, to unmute yourself and join us out loud in the Mourner's Kaddish. Once I begin it, we'll all join together. Please rise in body or in spirit.
A lot of people to remember.
Yitgadal, Ma Devra Kurute, Lik Malkute, Ayakon Yomechon, Ayed Vobet, Hanalav Zman Karim. Amen. Ishme Rabba Mibra Amin Ome Aman. Ra Ishtabah, Yitalev, Yitalal, Eid Kursha Brit, Ela Minko Mirkata Vishirata, Tav Anbeama Vimru Amen. Hey Shlama Rabba Mishmaya, Malenu Be'al Israel, Vimru Amen. Israel, may the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort.
Shalom Aleinu. Yakol Israel.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to every broken heart. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Shalom Romav Huyase Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. I don't know. Stacy, can you unmute yourself and tell me if Neil is back? I'm going to assume by silence he had to step out for a minute, so I get to do announcements. Thank you so much to Bonnie McAlvin for leading us in what was a truly extraordinary flute performance. If you haven't heard flamenco flute yet, you really haven't heard music. So maybe go to our YouTube feed later and check it out at the beginning of services. Our deep thanks to our social action team, the many, many people who made up our mitzvah day and who help us making sure that social action and making a difference in this world is part of front and center of our synagogue's life all the time. This week is, of course, Passover. We send much blessing to you and all your families. We hope you're doing safe, good choices for Pesach, and maybe for some of you that even allows you to see people in person, which is truly wonderful. Tomorrow night is, of course, first Seder. Then on Sunday morning, we have our first day of Passover services at 10:30 in the morning. And then that night at 5:30 on Sunday, we have our second Seder. And you're welcome to, we'd love to have you and your family and friends join us for our community second Seder. Coming up next Friday, we will be recognizing Yom HaShoah, and we have Zachary Levine from the U.S. Holocaust Museum joining us as our special speaker, along with readings and poems and music from the Holocaust. So it's definite time to be here and to remember and share as a community in what is truly a particularly Jewish obligation to recognize Yom HaShoah. So please join us next Friday night. And then on Wednesday, April 7th, we are joining with 4 other synagogues for a community program to hear from the eminent Holocaust professor, Michael Berenbaum. One of the advantages of Zoom gets us to hear people we never would have been able to get for our temple. And Dr. Berenbaum is one of them. We hope you'll join us. You do need to sign up for that in advance. Check any of our e-blasts for the link to that. You can sign up next week. It's just fine. And then if you haven't yet bought your tickets for our concert on April 17th, what are you waiting for? It's going to be quite the event with amazing songs led by members of our temple community, by our temple musicians. It's really going to be a wonderful time. There are raffles. There's all sorts of things you can do. So you don't get the little appetizers. You have to make your own on that. But it'll be a truly wonderful evening of song for our community. Sign up for the concert and join us for that special event. Sure, there are many, many other things that we're having because we have a lot of things going on this spring. So just check your e-blast. It comes out every Wednesday with a full listing of everything that's going on, including all the links to anything that's being held online. So just look for it every Wednesday and you'll have everything you need. All right, well, it's time for us to get ready for whatever our own egg in our own home might be. This is your last chance to munch down on challah. Some of you already cleaned out your homes from your comments, so you don't have challah there, but some of you haven't yet done that yet, and you might have a challah. So if you have a challah still, bring it up, put it on the camera so we can all see it. There we go. We have at least some. There's one. Let's see if we have any others. Oh, there we go. Some people have cleaned out their home already, so there's no challah to be found yet. There we go. Mildred, so wonderful to see you. And Ellen, great to see you too. I think that's all of them. So if you want to unmute yourself and join us in the motzi, we'll give it a second for everybody to do that, and we will all join in the motzi together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon, everyone. And our closing song is an old favorite, Adir Hu. We're not going to sing all the verses because we don't want to be here till like the third day of Passover. So we're just going to do the first few verses of Adir Hu.
Adir Hu, Adir Hu, Yivnei Beito Bekarov, Bimheira, Bimheira, Biyamenu Bekarov, El Bnei, Bnei Beitcha Bekarov, Bachor Hu, Gadol Hu, Dagul Hu, Yivnei Beito Bekarov, Bimheira, Bimheira, Biyamenu Bekarov, El Bnei, Bnei Beitcha Bekarov, Chasid Hu, Tahor Hu, Yachid Hu, Yivnei Beito Bekarov, Bimheira, Bimheira, Biyamenu Bekarov, El Bnei, Bnei Beitcha Bekarov. Last verse. Kabir Hu, Lamud Hu, Melech Hu, Yivnei Beito Bekarov, Bimheira, Bimheira, Biyamenu Bekarov, El Bnei, Bnei Beitcha Bekarov. Shabbat Shalom.
And we end our service with words of social justice, reflections on Mitzvah Day, and on social justice we can do all year from Lois Silverman. Lois, we gotta unmute you first. We'll do that. Wait, Lois, there we go. There we go. Lois, you still got to unmute yourself.
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry. We're going to hear some words from Jane Pinkett first, who couldn't be with us tonight. I was so glad to be able to provide sandwiches for the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the midst of great food insecurity in this city and beyond. It's always sorely needed. What I really loved was seeing the youth of our temple so involved. The Democracy NYC program was run by and staffed by young people in collaboration with several TAFE members. Those who participated learned a lot. It was especially inspiring to note that families gave of their time in the afternoon to collect the various gift bags and supplies to be sorted for homeless college students, nursing homes, days for girls. I spoke to one family who told me they were so glad they could be there and make a difference. That's really what it's about. Whatever you can do to make a difference for someone that really needs it. And Jane says, thank you. And just a few words from me as Mitzvah Day co-chair with Jerry Strauss and all of our wonderful team and congregation and clergy. I was so impressed that we managed to have numerous programs and mitzvot on Mitzvah Day 2021. I was even more impressed with how many of you stepped up to be as helpful as possible. The event was meticulously orchestrated. It was a symphony of activities with variations on one common theme, performing meaningful acts of loving kindness. The pandemic did not stop our clergy, office staff, and resolute Mitzvah Day team from forging ahead to create an unforgettable day of giving and doing. MD 21 was the most challenging Mitzvah Day to plan and the most gratifying to experience. And the Reformed Temple of Forest Hills community forged a pathway to the ultimate mitzvah, Tikkun Olam, repairing the world. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Lois, Jerry, and the whole social action team. Everyone, Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Morning,
Shalom.
Rabbi, for Torah study.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom. Chag Sameach.
Hashmir, guys.
Happy holiday.
Hashmir, guys.
Aksamea.
It's
See you
great
tomorrow morning for Torah study.
See you Torah study, Jody.
Nice praying with you
Yes,
all.
Scotty.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye, Scott.
Zayton Peh.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi.
Bye, Jerry.
Shabbat
Thank you
Shalom
for
all.
everything.
Aziz
Thank
and
you, Rabbi.
Pesach. Karen, it's
Hey.
always good to hear your voice. Aziz and Pesach to you. Take care.
Night, Roberta.
Take care, buddy. See you tomorrow morning, Torah study.
Roberta.
Good night, Jerry.
Good night, Roberta. Take care,
Good
Bertie.
night, everybody.
I will.
Happy Passover.
And the same to
Yes.
you, Jerry, and your family.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Happy Passover, everybody.
It's your
Arnold
cancer,
and
Rabbi.
Barbara and Arlene and Jody and Susan and Stanley and Bertie, Jerry, Dewey. I understand a happy birthday. Is that right?
No, it's Drew.
Drew.
Oh, it's Drew's birthday.
Drew's birthday.
Well, I don't see him, so I'm going to give it to you.
All right. We
Lillian,
have to wait a
Shabbat
couple of months
Shalom.
for Dewey.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Judy, Shabbat Shalom. Great to see all of you. Hag Sameach.
Aksamea. I can see you Sunday morning.